Society constantly glorifies the grind. We are taught that success requires sweat, long hours, and endless physical exertion. But if you look closely at how real progress happens, the biggest leaps forward usually come from someone trying to avoid physical labor altogether. Hand a truly tedious, massive chore to the right person, and they won't roll up their sleeves and get to work. They will look at the sheer volume of mindless repetition required, and they will completely refuse to do it the way they were told. Bill Gates famously summed up this dynamic. He said he would always choose a lazy person to do a hard job, because a lazy person will find an easy way to do it. We usually treat laziness like a character flaw, a sign of apathy, but we might be misreading the signal. That resistance to doing things the hard way often masks high-level pattern recognition. The people who appear to be sitting around doing absolutely nothing are frequently the ones running quiet calculations, completely redesigning the task in their heads before they ever lift a finger. You've probably seen someone do this. They stare blankly at a problem for minutes or hours. They aren't zoning out. Their brain is furiously running simulations in the background, hunting for the cleanest, fastest exit strategy. Psychologist Daniel Kahneman called the brain a cognitive miser. Thinking itself consumes massive amounts of energy, so the brain fiercely protects its reserves. It actively resists spending fuel on inefficient processes. A 2016 study from Florida Gulf Coast University measured this effect. They found that people with higher IQs exhibit significantly less physical movement throughout the day. They have a high need for cognition, meaning they prioritize mental motion over physical action. They plan the entire route before taking a single step. Thomas Edison was constantly criticized by his colleagues for looking idle. He would sleep in his lab and spend hours tinkering quietly. He wasn't slacking. He was letting complex problems solve themselves in the quiet spaces most people rush past. Hesitating before starting a massive project is a biological defense mechanism. It's your brain demanding a map, ensuring you find the absolute most efficient route before committing your energy. Let's say you're working in a restaurant, and you're told to individually turn over hundreds of frozen breadsticks on a massive baking sheet. You could spend 20 minutes doing it by hand, or you could place a second tray on top and flip the whole thing upside down in 3 seconds. That physical trick is identical to how intellectual leverage works. In the late 1700s, a teacher assigned a busywork task to a class of 7-year-olds: add together every single number from 1 to 100. While the other kids started grinding through the arithmetic, a young Carl Friedrich Gauss noticed a structural detail. If you pair the extreme ends together, 1 plus 100, 2 plus 99, 3 plus 98, every pair equals 101. Instead of 99 addition problems, he realized there were exactly 50 of these pairs. He instantly multiplied 50 by 101, arriving at 5,050. He traded hours of pure mental exertion for a few seconds of structural leverage. He found the pattern that did the work for him. Today, this instinct is automating the digital workplace. People who hate repetitive tasks are quietly writing themselves out of their job descriptions. It starts early. One parent walked into their living room during lockdown to find their 9-year-old son leaning over a smart speaker, having Alexa calculate all of his math worksheet problems while his parents were busy cooking. Fast forward to the corporate world. An intern is hired for the summer and assigned a grueling 40-hour-a-week workload. They are expected to export data, clean it up in Excel, and generate itemized reports. A hard-working intern does exactly that. A clever, lazy intern spends the first 2 weeks writing a custom script that condenses those 40 hours of clicking into a 2-minute macro. They spend the rest of the summer taking 2-hour lunches and chilling. The smartest ones don't even tell their bosses. They intentionally hold back their automated reports until just before the deadline. They hit every target, complain slightly about the workload, and maintain the perfect illusion of constant, grueling effort. Author Tim Ferriss argues that being constantly busy is a symptom of lazy thinking. Rushing into indiscriminate action without evaluating the friction means you've stopped thinking critically about the process. True workplace genius prioritizes outcomes over optics. It ignores the urge to maximize visible, sweaty output and focuses entirely on minimizing the effort required to reach the exact same goal. The German general Kurt von Hammerstein-Eckert famously divided his military officers into 4 categories based on 2 metrics: intelligence and work ethic. They were either clever or stupid, and either lazy or diligent. He warned that the absolute most dangerous people to any operation are the ones who are stupid and diligent. A hard-working person who doesn't understand the larger strategy will blindly and enthusiastically execute terrible processes, creating endless mischief and chaos for everyone else. Conversely, he reserved the absolute highest command duties for officers who were both clever and lazy. Clever, lazy leaders do not panic and do not rush. They possess the intellectual composure to step back, survey the battlefield, and find the path of least resistance. In high-stakes environments, that instinct prevents unnecessary casualties and avoids wasting precious energy. So if you are currently at rest while an automated system, a well-placed formula, or a brilliantly simple physical trick handles your workload in the background, you aren't failing. Lazy people do not actually do less work. They ruthlessly evaluate the landscape and eliminate all the wrong work before they begin. Protect your mental energy. Refuse the societal trap that tells busy work has inherent value just because it makes you sweat. And the next time you face a seemingly impossible problem, do yourself a favor. Give it to the laziest person in the room.